Food markets only.
Meet Susie Smart, she is so bright. On her blackboard you can write. She has a desk, she has a seat. What's your name, my dolly sweet?
My name is Susie Smart.
She can talk!
She can talk, but can she add?
2 plus 2 is 4. Cat, C-A-T.
You can spell!
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
You recite!
Press the button, she says a dozen things, complete with desk, blackboard, and seat. Susie Smart, sold at food markets only.
All right, let's dispense with the friendly banter. I believe you know why I'm here.
Well, I always figured it was to study us, discover our weaknesses, and report back to your alien overlords.
Good afternoon, cats and kittens, pups and pooches. It's Susie Q96, and it's time for a little sweep in the dirt. Little metal detecting discussionables and fair warnings of crazy crap that happens out in the field. We're just gonna have a dandy time. Oh yeah, and did I mention we might even play a game? We might. I don't know. I gotta see what I got laying around here that needs to go to somebody else's house for a while. But since it says I only have one person here, it's a little early to be playing some games, but what the heck. A little bit early to be doing anything. I know I messed everybody up with the time change, but it was unavoidable. Had me a little problem. Hi, Team Clambake. Had me a little problem over at the Walmart today. And so I was late getting back from my groceries. And then I had to put all the groceries away, and I knew I was not going to make 1 o'clock. So I flipped it over to 1:30, and I'm sure that probably messed up some folks, but it was either that or I was going to have to cancel because I was stuck in the line at Walmart because the girl overcharged me by $50. And that was a little bit too much money for me to walk away from. So, yeah, I had to stay there, and then I had to get home and get all the groceries, all the cold stuff put away. So that's why I was tardy. All right. Hi, Mark. Bye, Mark. Hi, Deej. Hi, Furry. I got some people's coming now. Yeah. So anyway, it was just a little bit of a chaotic morning. And I guess we'll start out by talking about what I did this weekend. I've been sick for a long time. Everybody kind of knows that. And I probably shouldn't have done what I did because I was sick most of last week as well. But I have some old and dear friends from Florida. And one of them is a guy named Henry Paul, who is one of the founders of the second coming of what I call the second coming of a band from Florida called the Outlaws. And I have known people in that band since they started back in the 60s. Well, they were playing about 45 miles from me and invited me to come over and attend the concert as their guest. And since my car was finally working and I actually woke up that day feeling good, I decided to go. Well, I'm not going to go to North Carolina and not take my metal detector. So anyway, I went to the concert, had a wonderful visit, and got a little embarrassed when Henry started doing this speech about a discussion we had prior to the show, and he was telling everybody about how long I've been around the band and how I know all the stuff about the band. And somebody in the front made a smart remark and I guess referred to me as a groupie. And Henry he kind of went on this little speech and explained to them, no, I was not a groupie. And he gave me a new nickname. He said I was not a groupie, I was their den mother. So I guess now I'm the official den mother of the Outlaws Rock and Roll Band. And I also got a real good cornbread recipe that I'm going to try later from Henry's son, who remembered us making that cornbread at for the people at the recording studio. So I got the recipe for that. And then the next morning, and this is part of the topic, the next morning I went to a park. I asked around and found out it was okay for me to metal detect there. So I went down to this park, and this is part of the topic of hazards. Whoops. Hazards you may not be aware of. And I've had this happen once before back in Georgia, but this particular one, I don't have any video because I took my detector, but I forgot to take my camera, and my battery was not very good. And it was really okay. I wasn't finding very much. I guess this park is pretty well hit. But I decided before I left, I was going to run over by the baseball and basketball courts because I saw a concession stand over there. And I thought, okay, maybe there's some clad or stuff dropped in that area. I usually have pretty good luck around those kind of things. So I go over there, and there's one truck sitting there, but I don't see anyone around this truck. I looked, and so I went down to the other end of the parking lot, and I got my detector out, and I was just getting my little tool bag out, and this old guy, I mean, I'm 70, and this guy probably was 10, 12 years older than me. This guy starts walking straight towards me, and I thought, oh, okay, he's just going to come over and ask me something about the detector. So I'm not paying much mind to it. And then he gets right by my car, and he walks just past my car. And then he turns around and he starts coming back. And now I'm starting to get a little uncomfortable. And I wish I had had my camera, but I didn't. And he starts walking towards me, and then I kind of picked up my big shovel out of the back. And when I picked the shovel up, he turned around and he started walking the other way, like to walk around the baseball dugout. And he goes all the way around the dugout, and then he turns around and he comes back again, and he starts to unzip his pants. So I'm just like throwing all my stuff in the back. I hadn't closed the door. I just threw everything in the back, jumped in my car, and drove off because I had already talked to one of the guys that worked in the park. He was riding around in a golf cart. Now, the last time I had somebody approach me in an unfriendly manner, I had the camera rolling. This was a couple of years back, and there's a video, and I think it's something about the boogeyman in my earlier ones, but I didn't have any camera running on this one. And I thought, oh, great, just what I need, you know. So I got in my car, and I went over to the other side of the park, thinking, okay, let me just come over here, do a little bit more detecting before I go back to Virginia. The SOB followed me. I had just gotten my stuff out again and was walking towards the area that I wanted to, and I looked up, and here is this guy pulling in the parking lot. It was the same truck I saw at the other one. I just said, okay, I am not supposed to be detecting in North Carolina. If this is all I'm going to find, we'll take a little bit back to Virginia. But it was very creepy, and this is especially going out to you ladies, or to anybody who goes detecting alone. Now I did have pepper spray. I keep pepper spray in my finds bag, in my little tool bag. So if he had gotten much closer, he was going to get nailed with this pepper spray. But yeah, I want you to always be very vigilant. This is one of the reasons I don't like wearing headphones. If I have to wear them somewhere, I'll have one ear uncovered, because in the other instance, this guy kind of creeped up on me and I didn't really hear him. So I'm just letting you know, people, there are some crazy MFers out there, pardon my language. But most people would have never suspected this guy of being anything more than a nice little old man having a walk in the park. But that's not the case. And there was nobody else around there. And see, I like to detect when there's not people around, because I just can concentrate better on my sounds and signals. But be very vigilant. There are so many crazy people out there now. I don't know what is going on with these nuts, but it kind of ruined my experience. And I wasn't finding much there anyway. But after that, I had a couple other places I was going to stop on my way home, and I didn't, because I was shaken. But I was kind of proud of myself that I was paying enough attention that I picked up right away that there was something not right. And that's why I didn't get all my stuff out. I just had my little bag, and when he started approaching, I picked up the shovel because it makes a darn good weapon. But that's one of the hazards that I mentioned in the description of this story for you to be aware of, because if I had had my back to him and was just ignoring him, and I don't know what could have happened. I don't think he could have taken me out, as puny and weak as I am, because this was an old dude. I'm going to say 80s or 90s, but if he had gotten within the distance of my car, or if he had gotten anywhere around me and he had continued to unzip those drawers, I was going to pepper spray more than his face, if you get my drift. I don't know what that would feel like, but I darn sure, if I was a man, I wouldn't want to find out either, because I would reckon that would burn. But anyway, so that's what happened on my detecting trip. I'm glad I had a good time at the concert, because that was kind of a unhappy ending. And this is just junk that I threw under this. I reached into a bag of finds that I haven't classified yet. And this is just typical park junk. Pull tabs, quarter, So that kind of ended my detecting for this week. I was hoping to come back and have a great video, and then I didn't have my camera. And I was hoping to come back and have a good story, but there is a good part of this story, and that's that I can make people aware that you might think, like the county part. I was in a county park, and you might think you're perfectly safe, but you've got to be vigilant anyway. Anywhere you go of that kind of stuff, because I certainly was not expecting that to happen, but I did have my pepper spray. Even if I don't carry my finds bag with me and I just have my pinpointer and my small digging tool, I will take the pepper spray and stick it in my pocket. It goes everywhere once I'm out of my vehicle. It's just where it goes. All right. So that's one thing we're going to discuss about hazards. Another hazard people don't think about, and this did not happen to me, but it has in the past. If you're going to a remote location to metal detect, make sure you have enough gas in your car to get you home. One time out in Georgia, somebody gave me a hint about a place to go, and I didn't pay attention, and on the way home, I ran out of gas. So that's a hazard. Also, if you're going out into a remote area, do not count on your GPS or the mapping on your cell phone, because if you get out in certain areas where there are no signals and you don't have a paper map or something, a set of printed out directions, and that happens a lot around here, our because we're up in the mountains and our signals, phone signals, are not good. Yeah, it's too bad. I oh, by the way, on that deal, I did go find the man that worked for the park that was riding around in the golf cart before I left and let him know what had transpired and what this man was driving and what he looked like, and part of his license plate. I couldn't get the whole plate, but it was a North Carolina plate. Um, yeah, see, that's the thing, Furry. I got turned around coming home from this concert that I went to, and I knew which way I came in, so I turned that, to go out the same way, but the Google map got me all turned around, and it ended up taking me 20, 30 miles out of my way, and this is at like midnight on a mountain in the fog, and I don't see that well. So I'm from now on, I'm gonna have paper maps in my car because I can't count on that Google. And like I said, you get up here in these areas or some of the areas out in the Midwest where it's just like miles and miles and miles of nothing, cornfields and crap. Uh, that stuff shuts down and you don't know where you are. Nope. Yeah, see, that's what happened to me, clam bake. This thing took me on some North Carolina back road. Bye, Deej. Thank you. Yeah, it took me down this gravel, unmaintained. I'm coming down the mountain on this thing, and I just know I'm gonna slide off into oblivion. So that's another, these are hazards we don't think about. We think about, when we go out metal detecting, we think about, oh, I might get stung by bees or, something like that, or trip in a hole or need bandages or something. We don't think about these things about getting to where we're detecting, or things that are like this unmaintained road thing. I drive a little bitty subcompact car and it has front wheel drive, which was good, but I thought I was going to run out of gas while I was trying to figure out where I was, or even get back to a place where I could get Google Maps to come back on, which I finally did about 27 miles away from where I was supposed to be. And I just sat there for a while and figured out, and I actually got a notepad and wrote the directions down because my battery was going down. It was just a mess. And so here's another thing that I'm going to recommend for folks to put in their finds bag. This was actually given to me by Dawn the metal detectorist, and I didn't take it with me the other night, and I could have kicked myself in the butt for not having this at the concert too, because my camera batteries went dead. I was having a bad time with batteries. but let me see if I can get this. This is a solar powered charger. It has 2 USB ports for you to plug your devices into, and it will charge in the sun, or you can plug it in to charge it up if you're where there is no sun, but it doesn't require any batteries or anything. And I wish I had had this with me because this thing is awesome. I'm highly recommending, if you can't afford one of these, they even have a little, it's not solar, but a little one you can charge up on your computer or whatever that you can charge your phone up with. But this one, I can actually charge my batteries for my GoPro. I can charge my detector if I want to leave it on there long enough. I've charged my headphones with it. I forgot to take it with me, so it wasn't doing me any good. But that's a good thing to have as well if you do get stranded somewhere. There you go. Because these are hazards that we don't think about till we're out there and we're going, ah, crap. Now what am I gonna do? Yeah, that's what mine is. It's solar or plug-in to charge, and it is really, really a great thing. I highly recommend keeping one of those in your kit. And here's one more hazard, and I'm gonna move on to something else. But I just want to throw this one out there. Most of us keep first aid supplies, Band-Aids and that kind of stuff, and bug spray. Y'all get you one of those eye wash kits. Has a little eye cup and the eye wash to wash your eyes out, because I have on probably 3 different occasions either had wind blowing or been digging with my shovel and hit something, and all of a sudden the dirt fly up and get something in your eye. And once again, if you are out in a remote area and that happens to you, you can seriously damage your eye if you don't have some way of getting that crap out of there. So make the investment in one of those little eye wash kits. They're under $10. Put that in your bag. Don't have to carry it around, but put it in the bag that you have in your car. So if I got a little chunk of something in my eye at that concert, and I had that stuff. Actually, I had it in my purse. I don't know why I had it in my purse, but it was in there. So I washed my eye out. Fortunately, I got it in the bad eye. So anyway, all right. So those are just a few things I wanted to throw out there. I hope those ideas and thoughts are useful to you and keep you from having a situation like I've had. I do recommend, if you have a situation like I had with the guy, um, to report that. I reported it to the guy right there in the park. And if you can get their tag number, I got the first part of the tag number, but not the whole thing. I just memorized the alphabet part of it. But I had to just try to get a description and let somebody around there know, because that was a holiday weekend and it was early in the morning, so the big crowds hadn't come yet. It was on a Sunday morning. A lot of folks were in church, but that park was going to fill up once church let out, because it was Labor Day weekend. So hopefully they got him out of there before anybody else was confronted. All righty, next thing we're going to do, we're going to talk about metal detecting in Illinois. I found this channel the other night, and They had some very well done videos, but there's not a single thing in their about section to tell me where in Illinois they are, but they're definitely in Illinois. They had some nice production on their videos, and they were finding some cool stuff. I just wish I knew who these guys were. But they're called the Beanfield Boys, and they don't have, they've only got like 90, I think 90 subscriptions on there. But, oops, I'm trying to set them up here. But they didn't have anything in their about section. But I'm still going to feature them for Illinois because they found some pretty cool things. And it looks like they started the channel in 2020, and the last post was 3 or 4 months ago. So they're still out there. Probably too darn hot for them to detect like it is for the rest of us. But I'm going to cue them up. First, I want to show you their intro. It's real simple, but it's very nice. I wish I actually need to. I keep hitting the wrong button here. I'm such a dummy. I need to sit down and make better intros and stuff with a lot of these channels. I'm just not. I don't have the time. It's not that I don't have the talent. I don't know. I'm lazy, I guess. But anyway, nice. I'm trying to cue this thing up, and I keep hitting the wrong button. Stop. There. All right. That's close enough for government work. Hey, Mikey, welcome back. All right. Let me get this on the share here. But one of the things I noticed right away, this is actually the video I'm going to show you pieces from, is it's part 3 of a series. They got out an old plat map, and they found where an 1890s home site was, and that's where they're detecting. So we're just going to hit a couple of little blips of them, and you can see their stats and everything. But I liked their photography. He's using a Garrett AT, I think it's AT Pro, from what I could see in the video. And there we go. I'm gonna hit on a little bit of theirs. I don't want to get in trouble. I did go and subscribe to their channel, and I'm going to watch the other parts. But oh, I hate my computer. It's so slow.
Okay, everyone, take.
Okay, I'm going to go forward a little now. I don't want to.
What happens?
Let's see what he's got here. I think
Sun's going down about 7 o'clock approximately. Thought I would do a quick hunt. I just pulled something. I found a harmonica reed right there, but an area where we're trying to locate. We think there was a homestead somewhere in this field. I just pulled some kind of lead object that has some lettering on it. Maybe some kind of token or something that got melted down. I don't know. I can't tell what it says right now.
I think what he's got is a bag seal.
There's definitely some lettering on there. I have to clean that up when I get home and see what it is exactly. But definitely something.
What else he's got here? I'm not going to show you everything.
Yeah,
Looks like
took a
a pipe
little
stem.
clue to the patch of this spot.
But anyway,
Okay, Ron, so I am back at that same spot.
this will kind of give you an idea what Illinois and Iowa both. We're going to do Iowa is coming up in the thing, but they used a plat map to find this where this old house was, and
Handle or something
they
on
are
the side of
turning
the
up
back.
some stuff.
It's very possible because it's some kind of rifle butt plate, so I don't know if it does turn out to be something like that. I'll probably show it after, but it could be something else.
I'm just going through real quick. I don't want to show
That
everything,
last one
but
I found
good variety.
must be in much better condition too. The front's not broken. This would be a good candidate for restored. I love these axe heads. It looks so cool.
All right, so that's a little taste of the Beanfield Boys, and I will put their link in. No, it's our internet. They've been working on it the last 2 or 3 days. I've had to cancel shows and do all kinds of stuff. It is our internet that has gone bad. Somebody across the road here they have a house over there that was on like a slope, and they had some people out there trying to level it, and I guess they hit some of the underground internet cables because they dug where they weren't supposed to be digging. And so our internet has been sporadic for the last week and a half or so. So it's not my computer. It is actually our internet. I called and verified that with Xfinity earlier today before I paid my bill. But yeah, I do need to do some maintenance on my computer as well. But no, this is just a problem right now. So anyway, that was a little clip from the Beanfield Boys. I love that nice black dirt they have here where I live in Virginia. It's a combination of red clay and rocks, and I'd love to be digging in that dirt they were with. And then of course it would not be my show if I didn't ooh and ah over my buddy Robert Ferguson. And you'll see why in a minute. Robert went out detecting a couple nights ago, and he hasn't been having very good luck lately. He's out in Huntington Beach, California area. And the other night he went out, and our boy found 7 rings. 7. Now, he got a couple tungstens, and then he got some junkers, and then he got what you're seeing on your screen right now. All right, Furry, thank you. Yeah, I got a doctor's appointment after the show. So, yeah, Robert got 7 rings, and the last one he pulled is the one in this photo right here. It is 14 karat gold. It has 3 big diamonds and then a bunch of little ones. And he has tested the diamonds. They are all real. I thought the boy was going to wet himself. He was so excited. I would have been excited after I found like the second tungsten ring, right? I'd have been excited when I found the first one. But he just kept going and going and going. And he found 7 rings in one hunt. So there is stuff out there, folks. If Robert doesn't have all of it by now. But yeah, I had to brag on Robert. Yeah, Robert is a great guy. And he also found a really cool Los Angeles Dodgers hat pin on this same hunt. And the last time he found something with the Dodgers, it was a house key, and he knows I'm a diehard Dodgers fan, and he sent me that key. So I kind of sent him a message. I'm hitting around going, "Hey, Robert, I really like that Dodgers pin you sent." Uh, I, I'm a Dodgers fan. I have been since I was a kid. Yeah, my best on rings was 3 in one day. 2 of them at the same park, not very far from each other, but I don't think they belong to the same person because the sizes were very different. But the 2 that I found in the same park were both 10-karat gold. And then I went over to this other park. I stopped at on the way home, and I found a sterling silver over there. So that was my best day, was 3, and 2 of them being gold. That's the most I've ever, you know, that was good. That was when I lived down in rural Georgia, and I just happened to be lucky the day I got the 2 gold rings. I had gone to this park. I've been working on this park for a while, and the park maintenance guys were out there, and they were moving these metal grandstands that usually sit along the edge of the basketball court, and they were moving them because they were going to have, it was right before Martin Luther King Day, and they were going to have this big festival thing there. And so they were moving those stands to another location. And the guy told me, he says, "You better hit it now because I'm going to be putting them back right after the festival." So I got the grandstands were out of my way. And I always wanted to look under them. And that's where I found the 2 gold rings. I also found a really nice praying hands pendant, but it was just gold plate. But I was really lucky. And so I went back there 2 days in a row as soon as the festival thing ended, and was checking all around that area because I knew they were going to put those grandstands back in place. So that's another little hint, actually. If there's a local park and they're going to have some kind of special event for a holiday, drive by there the day before and see if they are moving any of the seating or any of the picnic tables or anything that you can't really search under very well. Drive by and see if they're moving those things out of the way temporarily, and get in there and check those areas around them out before they put all the stuff back in. Because like I said, that was my best day. It was when I got under those, where those grandstands had been. Okay, so what else do I have? I don't actually have a whole lot today because I was expecting to use the time showing what happened on my North Carolina hunt, but as it turned out, that wasn't anything I wanted to show. And I didn't have film of it anyway. And I do have to go to the doctor today. So I'm going to go to my cardiologist. And, you going to see Nana? How's Nana doing, Mikey? I know she's not been well. And also, did your other relative get her squirrels? The shipping thing shows she got them, but I hadn't heard anything from you about how the squirrel jewelry was received. But anyway, yeah, I just had to show that ring. That kind of stuff keeps me inspired when people I know find things like that. Then I'm like, okay, eventually I'm going to find something besides dirt and worms. I just haven't been finding much lately, and it's been so hot I can't hunt for very long, even at 6 or 7. All right, well, Mikey, do your homework, and I think I'm going to cut this one short simply because, like I said, I do have a doctor's appointment, and I kind of got to make sure I got all the things filled out that he's going to want to talk about. So Oh, that's good. You showed them your grades. Well, you always do good, Mikey. I know you do. All right. So I appreciate y'all stopping by. I'm going to try to get caught up here on some of this stuff. And I'm working on, I've got a new desk. I just got a new old desk. I just got to finish painting it. And so the setting is going to be different. And then I can probably come back on camera now that I have enough hair on my head to not be embarrassed. It kind of knocked me out when when the kid at the Walmart asked me if I had mange. So that kind of threw me off being on camera for a while. I didn't realize I was that scary looking, but yeah, apparently I am. So, all right, gang. I'll be back. I've got some mail calls to do, so just make sure you got your like button clicked and your notifications, and I got some giveaway stuff coming up. We're gonna do a little revamp and a reboot and try to get things going better again. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And I gotta run. We'll see ya. Oh, and somebody got M3 a new banana. So there will probably be a M3 banana opening. This is a little different one. It's not as nice as the one Mikey sent, but if it's a banana and it's got catnip in it, I'm pretty sure M3's gonna like it. So we'll catch up with y'all later. Thanks for being here. Keep on digging up the stuff. Sweep that dirt. Bye.